Everybody, welcome back to the Spurs 9541 podcast. This is a bit late with this review. Apologies for that. Cam was not available, but this is a review of the 3-1 win, the welcome 3-1 win against Brentford at the weekend. Cam, welcome back. What are your thoughts on the win?
Well, I think, always welcome, and I think it's great to see that we what we did, and I'm very happy. I mean, we've given Spurs such a hard time over the last, since the beginning of this season and towards the end of last season, and it's welcome to get some relief. But is it just short-term relief? I don't know. Let's discuss it.
Okay, great. That's what I was going to ask you. It's a great goal by Mbeumo, and it's a brilliant finish from him. You can't take anything away from that. But good win against Brentford because they are a good team. They gave Man City a good game. I saw Brennan Johnson now, all the chat forums and all the YouTube channels saying he's the best thing since sliced bread. He's a Premiership leader and all that. What do you think about him now, even though he scored that goal?
Well, I mean, I'm glad you asked that question because I did want to talk about Johnson. I think that from what I've seen, a lot of abuse for Johnson too. They've been giving him so much abuse that he's not good enough and everything else. And then he goes from being the worst player in the world to the best player in the world. My view is I didn't join in the abuse, and I'm not yet celebrating in the happiness as well. I think he's a very young player. I always thought it took Gareth Bale some time from Wales to get to where he is today. And I think that, a couple of seasons with us, I mean, I'm expecting wonders from him, but I'm not going to right now jump on any bandwagon either way. I think the problem is in a very poor Spurs team, what do you expect him to do? I mean, the goals that he scored, the last two goals, they were really good goals, and we needed them. We needed them to get kickstart our season at some stage. But if we're going to all rely on Brendan Johnson to save us, then we're in real trouble. That's my view.
No, okay. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, he hasn't started off great, but I think there's potential there. And as you said, Gareth Bale had a dodgy start, and look what happened to him. So I think we should reserve judgment on him. Just encourage him. I can't understand all the abuse he's got. I'm not sure why that happened, but it's to do probably with the price tag. But then that's not his. He didn't set the price tag. It's the club set the price tag. So Brendan Johnson was a positive, but I wanted to ask you sort of a different sort of question here. Are we turning into like flat track bullies where against the top teams we lose 1-0, we give them a good game, we lose, and then against the bad teams we thrash them? I mean, is that the type of identity Tottenham has got now?
I think if you look at the results under Ange, where we did beat Liverpool because we were lucky because a clear goal was given us offside and that wouldn't have happened. I think we did beat Man United once. I don't think we beat anybody else. Any other team that was at the top thing. So we're already those trackside bullies, as you say. And the problem with bullies is that once you start stripping them down, there isn't much left underneath. And I think that, Brentford at home, given everything that was going on with the club, was a must-win game. And even though we can say that, we're going to beat these teams but lose to the big team, we still could have lost to this team. And my view is that goal in the first 30 seconds really was what Tottenham needed, because it shook us out of something. It felt like we were in a cloud and something had to happen to shake us out of it. And I think that goal did, because it was a different team completely. And it couldn't have been any worse in the last couple of games. But we needed something to shake us. And I think that really did work. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you said before, do you still stick to your original point of view, which is we've got a good team with just the manager is not playing the right tactics and is not able to get the best out of his team? Is that still your view?
I think that, look, from my view, from what we saw on Saturday, is the fact that we were down in 30 seconds. If we hadn't been down, and that really shocked players like Maddison, and I think we need to talk about that because I think he was exceptional. And if this means a turnaround in his fortunes and the way that he plays, and that can only be a good thing, because without a good Maddison playing, there is no Spurs team. I mean, let's face it, he's the one that actually makes everything happen. And with those first 8 to 10 games when he was fit at the beginning of the season, really made it for Ange. It really reminds me a bit of when Villa-Boas was here. He was an awful manager. He was terrible. But he had Gareth Bale at his height, where he could just come in, go from absolute nowhere and blast these goals and basically saved his season, right? And I got to worry that if Maddison plays to his potential, that's what will happen with Ange. But we know that Maddison doesn't tick, Tottenham don't tick. And that is a real problem for us going forward.
Again, with Maddison, I raised the same question. Is he a flat-track bully? He'll look world-class against people like Brentford and Crystal Palace, but when we needed him against Arsenal, he was anonymous. I mean, is this symptomatic of this team?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. And I think that they would have been anonymous on Saturday if we hadn't gone down 1-0 in the first 30 seconds. Because it's sort of like, click, that this is just too much now. We really are. I mean, you know, there were players there. I saw Bentancur, the way that he started playing. I saw the way that Madison was playing. I still want to reserve some judgment on Solanke. I know everybody's happy with his goals and stuff. But that first one, I mean, come on, Ray, you wouldn't have missed that.
No. I couldn't have it. No, it's not his fault. He was there. At least he was there to put it in. So got to give him credit for that. You know, he followed up.
That because he scored that goal.
But hopefully it gives him confidence to go ahead and, you know, it's always good to get your first goal. Gives you confidence, then hopefully he'll start taking more shots, taking more chances. So I'm happy for him, and I hope he succeeds.
It's what we call the Richarlison factor, isn't it? Because now we're used to a striker coming in for 50 million and only scoring 1 goal in his first season. And the fact that he actually got a goal in the first 4 or 5 games, you think, wow, this is fantastic. I call it the Richarlison factor. But frankly, is it good enough?
Well, let's give him. I say give him at least 10 games to see where we are there before you pass judgment. If you've given Brennan Johnson a season and a half, a season and a third before you said anything. So let's give Solanke some time. But let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. What was the good you saw from the match?
I thought, for me, the best thing in this match was the way we lifted ourselves when we could have gone right down after 30 seconds. And I thought, you know, and I'm glad it happened in 30 seconds because it gave us the whole game to get it back. But we immediately looked like a completely different team within seconds of the restart. That was encouraging because, I mean, we haven't looked like that. Normally when we've gone down, we play like we're like 4-0 up. So this time it felt like that you know, they took it seriously. That was, for me, was a positive.
And what about the bad?
I think the bad in the second half, we let off a bit. We didn't really do what we needed to do. We gave away too many stupid mistakes. I will point towards Vicario's mistake. I think that was at the end of the first half.
What
was he doing? I mean, he should have been punished for that. And if he had been punished for that, that would have been a completely different game. And I think the problem for me is we are a lot of the time our own worst enemies. And there was a lot of that today. And it comes back to the flat track bully thing that you're saying. A better team would have hurt us very much.
Yeah,
no clean sheet. Have you had a clean sheet this season? Yes,
Everton. Against Everton. But this is not good. I mean, this is what I ask you about the ugly. I want to add in here about Vicario. It's obvious now this guy cannot do anything at set pieces or corners. This is a big worry for us, you know. He's a great shot stopper. He made some great saves at shot stopping, but when it comes to free kicks, corners, any set pieces, he's really a liability. What do we need to do about that, Cam? We can't drop him because Fraser Forster's not going to be the next guy. What can we do? I mean, coaching, someone needs to coach this guy, surely, don't they?
No, we need to drop him. I mean,
let me stop you there for a minute. Did you see David Raya yesterday? He came out, he collected balls, a class goalkeeper. I mean, the defense must have so much confidence that this guy's going to sort it out. Our defense is just squirming. They don't know what Vicario is going to do next. So, are you saying we drop him and bring in Forster?
Oh, we bring in Brandon. Is it Brandon Austin?
Oh, Brandon Austin. Okay, yeah.
I think we got. What I can't understand is we let a keeper. I think it was our Arsenal's keeper went to Southampton. There were a lot of keepers out there that were available that we needed to better back up. Sticking with Forster. If we're sticking with Forster as our number 2, then why isn't he playing? Is he not good enough to be number 2?
Well, he did play. He played in the Carabao Cup against Coventry.
Awful. He was nervous. He was in pieces. That's not the Forster that we've seen in the past. Maybe he needs to run in the team. The problem here is that Vicario's confidence is shot. I mean, you can make a couple of mistakes on crosses in a couple of games. It's going to happen. Lloris did it quite a lot. A lot of players do. But he's doing it in almost every single time. Every single set play. He's rooted to the spot. He's like a rabbit in headlights. And he absolutely doesn't know what to do. And that goal against Arsenal, which I want to just go back to, he was just rooted. There were 4 players around. He couldn't move. I mean, you know, it was like we didn't have a keeper. And a lot of times we got one.
You got to give it to Arsenal, though. They scored against City yesterday from a set piece. It seems like one of their strengths. I mean, even Edison couldn't do anything about it, so maybe we're being a bit harsh. But Vicario has done other stuff. He nearly lost the ball again, didn't he, when he had the ball at his feet, nearly got closed down again. Should have been a yellow card for him for handling. Could have been a dangerous free kick for Brentford. You know, all these little things. But I don't think he's going to be dropped. I think he's Ange's number 1, and it'll always be Ange's number 1.
No, I agree with you. That's mainly to do with the fact that we didn't get proper cover for him. what team can win anything, right, without proper cover on your goalkeeper? So let's forget about the fact that he's crap. What if he gets injured tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly.
What happens then? I mean, you know, we didn't provide proper cover for one of the most important positions on the team, and you expect to go and win something? I mean, come on.
Yep. No, I understand. So, you know, we're wrapping this up now. We have quick, short conversations, you know, getting down to it. What's your, I mean, this is all worthless if we go to United and get beaten, isn't it? We've got to build on this now and beat United because they're beatable. I saw them against Palace. They were nothing special, really.
No. I mean, again, it depends which United turns up, doesn't it? I mean, if the 7-0 turns up, then yes. But I would say to you this. Palace have got a better defence than us. Palace are much more dogged than we are, but we probably got a better strike force, and we can probably go out there and create more chances. But do you think we could defend like Palace?
No, I don't think we can. I mean, we can't keep a clean. We can't keep a clean sheet.
No, we can't. So let's accept that Man United will score, and if Man United do score, can we respond? Is the key thing. And the thing about Man United scoring, it gives them confidence. I mean, they're a team really lacking confidence, and probably as bad as we are, but. I mean, their defence is better than ours, and I think that you know, that is what it's all going to come down to. If we could keep a clean sheet, we might have stood a chance, but I just don't see us ever keeping one ever again. Yep.
And your thoughts on Ange before we close the match? I've closed the call. What's your thoughts on Ange? And
I think after Arsenal game, we should got away with scot-free. I think he's had a good week. He shouldn't have won the Coventry game, and it looked like it was all going pretty badly after the first 30 seconds against. Brentford, but the team, I don't think it had anything to do with Ange. I think the team were embarrassed into action. The players of that quality were embarrassed into action, and it was all about them coming back and not being, you know, completely have some, you know, actually have some pride in what they were doing, and that's what it felt like to me rather than Ange. So jury's still out. I haven't changed what I said about Ange before, but you know, the next, as you say, 10 games. Let's see. I always said till Christmas anyway.
Okay. Thanks very much, Cam. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate that. Come on, you Spurs, and let's hope we get a good win against United.
Definitely. Come on, you Spurs. Let's hope so. Maybe we can start climbing the table now.
Let's hope so. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next podcast.
Yep. Thank you.